A focus on tax assessments. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Pennsylvania State Representative Chris Ross. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be back, Jill.
Let's talk about how this works at a county level and the impact that can have on us as homeowners. How do tax assessments work?
Well, property taxes are based on the fair market value of your house or building. And one of the challenges we have is that market values change all the time. And yet reassessments, broad countywide reassessments, only happen very occasionally, sometimes as infrequently as 10 or 15 or 20 years. So the state's developed a system to try and adjust property values within each of the counties to generally reflect changes in the market value, so that when we charge our taxes, we do it on a number that's accurate.
Now, this is a general reflection, but that doesn't necessarily reflect our individual property.
Not at all. And this is one of the reasons why we've convened some task forces that I serve on to try and look at some of the disparities that have arisen, and also to consider how we can make the system more fair for people.
Now, when we talk about this disparity between this general number and the specific number for our individual home or property, what are some of the things that have arisen over the years when it comes to concerns or complaints? Have people actually filed complaints or appeals when it comes to the tax assessed on their own properties?
Yes, they have, and perhaps even more frequently nowadays than they used to, because we're finding that property values in some cases have gone down since the last general assessment. So people are making appeals to try and get their property assessment reduced. And the result of that is that they go through a process that looks at their property and the fair market value in relation to their neighborhood. But when we have the system that's in place right now that reviews an entire county at the same time, takes all the market transactions that have occurred and generalizes them across a broad range of types of property, industrial, commercial, residential, apartments, and across a variety of different neighborhoods, some of which have been changing in value much more rapidly than others, we get a very generalized number, which is usually somewhat out of sync with the individual property that someone might go through an appeal process on.
So if this generalized number takes all properties, regardless of type or location within the county, and puts them into one category, what could potentially be a more fair way to approach a reassessment?
Well, one of the things we're looking at is requiring the State Tax Equalization Board to segregate out by category, so that we're comparing industrial properties to industrial properties, and to get layers or types of categories, and also to look at the possibility of breaking it down into smaller areas so that we have a series of numbers within a county, a set of county numbers. Even if you average those numbers together and weighted them correctly, we'd get a fairer generalized county number. And the other thing that we need to also do is to know which property transactions to pull out of the average. Because, for instance, if a close family member transfers a property at less than fair market value, or if there's a distress sale that drops a property value down below what the true market value is, those should be pulled out. We don't have apparently the degree of ability to actually clean those numbers out of the average and to get a more accurate number.
And I want to quickly ask you, we just have a short time left, but what about the frequency at which a county needs to actually do these reassessments? Do they need to be done on a more regular basis?
Well, I think they need to be done based on the changes in property values. Some counties have very few transactions and the market values don't move very rapidly, so they can do it less frequently, and they are very expensive and very difficult. But if there's a county that has, like Chester, where I come from, where there's rapid changes, we need to force reassessments to happen more frequently so that we keep those numbers accurate.
Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
We've been talking with Pennsylvania State Representative Chris Ross. I'm Jill Horner.